Another loaded punch, and watch this. Throwing as hard as they can, bang, right square on the jaw, and then showboats. Ooh, you like that? Now, I go after bullies on this channel, so I've gone after Logan before in the past when I thought he was being a bully. In this case, I want to make sure that I give him the credit he deserves for this post because he has one of the biggest platforms in the world, and he used it to say this is the purest form of evil unfolding right before our eyes. A man was allowed to beat up a woman on a global stage, crushing her life's dream while fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end. Absolutely 100% correct. And I'm going to spend the next however many minutes I talk on this video saying the same thing in more colorful ways in a long form format. Look at this piece of human face. Look at that. Look at that face. Hey, it's all right, sweetheart. You know, maybe you can get him next time your dad dies and you're in the Olympics. So something else really quick. Is my opinion that men shouldn't be allowed to compete against women transphobic? 30% of 64,000 voters said yes. You lunatics. Man, I can't, dude. Well, if you didn't know this video was coming, you probably have never seen my channel before. So Angela Carini is an Italian boxer who had the pleasure today of opening her Olympic competition by having to fight a male, XY chromosomes, who had actually previously been kicked out of a international boxing tournament by being caught pretending to be a girl. They forced a test, proved it was a biological male. They pretended that they weren't, got kicked out of the thing. And then, but the International Olympic Federation approved them to fight. And I'm sure everyone is seeing things like this, clips like that. The reason why I'm not showing you that clip right now, I'm going to show you still photos of it. I'm going to show you the entire thing. Okay. You're going to get to see the whole thing in crystal clear, fashion. The reason I'm not showing it moving is because when we did the opening ceremony, you want to know what happened is NBC went around and they copyright blocked every video that did it everywhere. They copyright blocked them all. Okay. They don't like this kind of press. And so what we need to do as creators is make sure that we don't give them the opportunity to silence people's voices on this, because this can never happen again. This has to be the last time. This person who was in there competing as a female against an actual female in the Olympics and shattered her dreams, broke her nose, punched her 3 times. She only lasted 45 seconds, and that includes a standing count. Anyone who watched this and is like, no, listen, inclusivity is the priority. You need to include yourself in whatever society you want to set up where you let this happen, which doesn't involve the rest of us. Okay. You want to include everybody like that? You want to just take away all the rules and just be nothing but inclusive? You want to include convicted serial killers on your PTA meeting? You know what I mean? Oh, we're building the PTA. Hey, do you guys know anybody who's broken into a lot of houses and ended the lives of people? They're like, that sounds kind of weird. We're completely inclusive, okay? That's our guiding light. Total inclusivity. Really? So just no rules. Like we're not worried about the safety of other people. They're all, well, how is the serial killer supposed to feel? You want to exclude them? Huh? What do you think, that serial killers should have to have their own PTA? We're not being inclusive. You guys are insane. This is the end. And what happened today is way worse than you think, number one, aside from just the injuries and the potential death of a female athlete getting punched by a man. But what happened here, the reason why I'm starting with this is because this is what, God damn it. This is what despair looks like. If you know what she was fighting for, which I'm going to show you, you'll understand why this cannot happen anymore, dude. This has to be the last one. This has to be the end of all of it. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. It's made me It's made me furious every time I've had to talk about this, because it's like, Gabrielle and I have talked about this topic many times on Play With Matches, our other channel. Link is in the description. And Gabrielle, obviously Gabrielle is completely in alignment with us, but she wants to get into the weeds and talk about why it's not fair. And I always tell her, I'm like, listen, the reason I get mad every time we even start down this road is because the fact that we're even having the conversation means they're winning. Everyone knows why there are male and female sports. Okay. I don't want to get into a conversation about whether or not left is actually left or right is actually right. Just because someone throws some common sense thing and goes, hey, maybe it's not common sense. Doesn't make it not common sense. And when you're doing it at the expense of people who are trying to abide by the rules and do things fairly, you're the bullies. I am always consistent on this. Who am I always going after? Like when I say I don't attack people, man, I don't do that. People go, are you out of your mind? I go, think about it. I attack bullies. I don't like bullies. Now, what would you call this person? Okay. What would you call this guy? Okay. Look at his face. He just punched her straight in the face and is showboating. Okay. She said that's the hardest she's ever been hit in her life. This dude punched a female in the face and then went like this. You like that? So let me show you what she was fighting for, okay? Let me show you why she's so devastated, okay? This is her father. This is her post about how her father and trainer that she's lived with and trained with her entire life died 3 days ago. This is her proclamation that she's going to do it for him. Okay? I can't read it. I won't be able to get through it. So when you end up here, okay, it's because she feels like she failed her recently deceased father, and the opportunity to do it was taken from her by a man pretending to be a woman in the boxing ring. It cannot happen anymore, dude. Never again. This is the last time. And if you go on Twitter, this is pretty universal, dude. I think you're going to have a hard time defending this from now on. And what's insane, you want to know what would have happened right now if Elon hadn't bought Twitter? People who went on and posted about this would get banned off the platform. So let's just go through this really quick, and I will, like this. So here's exactly what happened, right? This is the final sequence where she was like, I'm not doing this anymore. All right. So she throws a jab like a girl, like a well-trained girl. He slips and loads up. Any good boxer right there. Hey, look, guys. Hey, what would a good boxer do right there? I mean, I'm not saying she's not good, but a good, a really high-level professional male boxer, what would they do? They would hit him with a left hook that knocked him unconscious, okay? If your punch comes from here to here, you're getting punched. So this is not because this is like an exceptional boxer, so right there, but he's loading up, and here we go, and boom, straight to this woman's face. Okay, knocks her back. Okay, she resets. Look at this face. Look at that face, man. That's a man. Okay, and then watch this. Comes, steps in. She paused. Look, another loaded punch. Another loaded punch. And watch this. Throwing as hard as they can. Bang, right square on the jaw. And then showboats. Ooh, you like that? How you like that? You like that? And showboats, look at his face. Woo, yeah. How about that? How about that? And then she quit because she's like, I am not doing this anymore. And so she quit, head down. This person tried to shake her hand. She wouldn't shake the hand. And then she collapsed crying on the canvas. And, this thing went over there and tried to console her. And she's like, get off of me, guy. You serious? Like, are you serious? You're gonna console me right now after what you just took from me? They didn't take it because they didn't win. They didn't beat, she's not like she lost. They stole it from her. So, I think it is reasonable to just point out, don't do it. Okay, I'll just say this. I never support violence. But every instinct that I have is to show this dude what it feels like to have a Kimura put on your arm when tapping's not an option. Okay? That's how I feel watching that. Because every instinct I have is like, that's a man beating up a woman. And in this case, beating up a woman and taking probably the most important moment of her entire life away from her. Like taking it from her. And smiling and showboating while you do it. And for those of you who don't know what know jiu-jitsu, maybe I could find something to illustrate what it looks like when you are trapped in a kimura, which people tap and you let it go. But if you don't let it go because you're not in a sanctioned bout, I'm not sure if I could show you what that looks like, even in a still photograph, because your arm is completely destroyed in every possible way that it could be. So taking a look at these particular images right here, you can see it's essentially an under-over, grab your own wrist with underneath their arm and you torque. Well, actually, this is kind of weird to do it like this, but you want to keep it tight to your body. And when you pull it, you're literally taking your entire body strength of your core and then putting it up against an isolated limb that is in this position, going like that. You destroy their shoulder, destroy their elbow. You do whatever you want with it. Obviously, it is a position that if you find yourself in and you're like not in a I'm training with my friend thing, you tap fast. And if you are fighting someone who doesn't like you, you feel terror until you feel it snap, because that is exactly what's going to happen. Look up kimura injuries if you're interested in seeing a horrific jiu-jitsu outcome. It's one of those things that, like, it's good to remind yourself, like, this is what you're actually, if you do jiu-jitsu or whatever, it's good to remind yourself that, you're training with friends. Like, okay, that's enough. What you actually are learning to do is that. If you felt like doing it, which is exactly what I'm not a perfect person, but I do have daughters who train, and like the idea of me training my daughter for the Olympics and then I pass away 3 days before she fights and then that happens to her is now I'm mad. But the first 100 times I've talked about it today, I couldn't get through it. I couldn't tell anyone the story without just even like breaking down thinking about it. The good news though, go ahead and head over to X. Take a look at this. Every single one of these posts has her back. Angela is going to end up being the catalyst that ends this psychotic, absolute, sheer nonsense. Look at it. It's endless. No one has this person's back, the other one. No one. Okay? The Olympic Committee should be ashamed of themselves. They deserve every bit of the crap they're taking from everybody, and it should not stop until they confirm that this will never happen again. Crystal clear. There's right and wrong, and that's just what it is, dude.